For the past couple of years, it's become very obvious that stickbots and clickbots, and technically the whole brand, has been going down for better or for worse. I say better because they can become cheaper as spots, but I don't know. Anyway, so point is, one of the things that we've been missing because of this is, I guess you could say, action series. I don't like to say that, but I don't really know any other term for it. Think about Off the Grid. Think about the previous Klikbot series. Think about just, I guess we've been getting a lot of different shows, which aren't bad, and I really do like some of them. But I guess I wish we got more shows more intense shows, if that makes sense. So it's pretty cool to be able to say the Klikbot Guardians Calamity is finally out. I'm very excited, and I'll be giving some, reviews, and we'll get into it. So yeah, let's start. Now, I feel that we should probably start with the previous Klikbot Guardians TV show's story, which debatably has one. So we'll just look at a quick part of the episode, and I'll try to recap. So because this was basically the first Klikbot Guardian show, they hyped it up a lot, but they didn't promote it that well. I don't really know how to say it. So it didn't do too well, and a lot of people were kind of confused. So we can see we got a kit bash. So we obviously have these Klikbot creatures, and we have a kit bash of Gundam pieces, and I really like how that guy looks. Anyway, so we get into these Klikbots right here. Klikbot creature. No, sorry. I'm getting all these names mixed up. We got, you know what? You get the idea. Basically, this is just introducing the characters as they're fighting this custom Kit Bash Gundam. So, pretty cool. So in this Klikbot, and I guess it was kind of in the Stickbot universe, the metallic, Klikbots are the bad guys. So I guess that makes sense why the creatures were, metallic, because that kind of implies that they're bad guys. But they basically, become friends with this guy. He's so adorable. I kind of wish that they made a figure of him, but because he's a custom, they would probably get into some licensing issues. They probably have to do something like they did with Off the Grid. But I don't know. Anyway, despite not having much of a story, it wasn't outright bad, and it was just, I guess, the first quote-unquote action video that we saw from them in a while, so not bad. But because the previously stated things, it was not received too well, to my knowledge. A lot of people did like it, but I think a lot of people expected more, and I guess I did too. It was just, it was an interesting take, and to my knowledge, they've stopped production on it, and are probably not going to make a part 2. So, great start to Klikbot Guardians. Going back to the news show, you can obviously see a very different style. The backgrounds are obviously green screened, but the art's not necessarily bad, it's just very different. So, we also have these guys who, they, try to stab a tree, but then, kind of, electrocutes, as, these Klikbot creatures are, destroying everything. And then she kind of protects them, which gives chance for these guys who were in the previous video to, save the day or whatever. There's some pretty, good action. I think that the only problem with this is probably that the backgrounds don't really match it. I think that green screened and art, that I guess, I don't know why I thought of the word art, but I guess green screened and more cartoonish backgrounds aren't necessarily a bad thing. I just think that they could have probably gone with the set more, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, the same, I guess, I wish they were in the same style. But anyway, they captured the bad guys, and I believe one of their knives, the one they were trying to stab into the tree, dropped. So as they're talking or whatever, they're like, "Oh, hi, I'm blank," or whatever. Kind of introducing their personalities again. I don't fully understand what's going on here, because I'm kind of listening to it with no audio. So feel free to correct me. It's just, I guess, more developing their character. Anyway, these guys get introduced, and I have to admit, some of their, I probably actually prefer the people in the back's design. But these two are friends. They're royal guard people or something. They're the people who protect the village. They're introducing the characters again. So, yeah, they're protecting the village. They're like, "Hey, do you want to go see person or whatever?" And they're like, "Oh, maybe we should see them, but we should probably help this city." "Oh, don't worry, we can help them." So that goes on for a bit. So then they're like, oh, we'll just help him. You don't have to worry about stuff. Now, something very suspicious goes on, where basically he's like, oh, I see this knife on the floor, be a shame if someone were to take it, basically. So I think that they're secretly bad guys. That's Clay's conspiracy theory. But yeah, he calls in. Then, while I may not be in full support of the backgrounds, I have to admit that stuff like this looks amazing and phenomenal. I mean, it's beautiful. Even if it doesn't always perfectly fit in the style, I love to see it. And this reminds me a lot of Studio Ghibli. And this is a point I really wanted to bring up in the video. Sorry for it, the crazy loop. But so if we look back at the previous episode, you can obviously see that this is definitely, even if it was unintentional, it seems like it was inspired, or at least it looks a lot like the Castle in the Sky robots. Anyway, I just thought this was a really interesting point, and it makes me very excited for what is to come. Even though this shot is obviously a mixture of Photoshop, I feel that because there's more physical stuff, it shows that, I mean, this show could do it could have more physical spaces, but I still like it. Anyway, there's like a plot twist. They say, hello, father, and it's like, so that implies that they're like the son of the king or something, I don't know, yeah. Alright, I just want to basically restate the points I already had for this one. I know it's like probably not the smartest idea, but I just thought I should do it anyway. So I just wanted to mention that basically this show, it has a very interesting feel. Obviously the backgrounds, that walk cycle was obviously like still images and then just bobbed up and down. I don't mind this, I just think it's an interesting thing to point out. It is an interesting show, definitely. The backgrounds are the thing that probably gets me the most. I don't mind that there have these backgrounds, I just, like I said before, I wish that they fit the style. They have these relatively detailed and very distinct characters, but the backgrounds feel completely different. I guess my biggest problem is sometimes it feels very hit or miss in these shows, not only this one, but the more recent Stikbot episodes. It feels like that the outside of the houses is extremely cartoony, but you could go inside and it'd be like the most realistic Skyrim 2 cavern. So I think you see what I mean. Yeah, I guess that's probably one of my biggest complaints with this. Besides it being pretty short and also seeming to be rushed, but that's kind of a style that I feel like I've gotten used to. I don't necessarily mind it as much as it is just kind of weird at first. Another thing I want to say is I don't want to be too hard on this because, oh my god, when I saw awesome animations from when I saw awesome animations oh my god, when I saw awesome animations and more, this review on these Klikbot creatures, I was like, oh god, that must be a pain to animate. I mean, imagine all those ratchet joints, individual, just okay, wait, okay, I'm setting my mic down just to like imagine, like, you just have to go, like, and this is why I want friction joints on stickbots or clipbots or whatever. Not the point. My point is that these things are hard to animate, especially the guy with, like, the spear legs. So, total respect to the animators and stuff. But, with that said, I think you can see my point about other stuff.
So overall, Clay gives it a 7 out of 10.